Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews. Tonight, episode 92, we're going to go ahead and bring another one out from our budget collection. I know we did Jim Beam last night, but this is the OG, granddad of them all. Kind of doesn't really need a whole lot of introduction, but Jack Daniel's Old Number 7. Again, I think very similarly to we talked about a story or a time that you can pinpoint back to a bottle of Jim Beam or Night. I think Jack Daniel, they're interchangeable between Jack and Jim. And full disclosure, I think this is from a branding perspective, a marketing perspective. I think this is one of the probably the most iconic brands in general. And we talked about some Jack Daniel's products we've done before. This is my first whiskey ever that I'd ever tried. I drank it for a very extremely long time. I'd say over the course of 10 years where I just had to stop drinking JD. But yeah, I think, I've never tried it to the point to how we're doing these tastings in these episodes. So I'm really intrigued to try this, legitimately try this. I think especially over the last year, I've been doing these, my palate has changed completely. I kind of know how to taste whiskeys and bourbons and kind of understand flavor profiles. So I think that's gonna be really exciting for tonight. But I do think this is probably the most popular whiskey. I think in the world, I think they sell 12.3 million cases per year worldwide. So it's iconic. These guys have been doing this for 150 years. I talk about branding, but really some of the biggest faces in entertainment, movies, you have Jack Daniel's. And it's just, again, I think it's been a go-to for a lot of people. I think even like at a bar, you get your vodka drinks, your Red Bull vodkas, your tequilas, but I think everyone says Jack and Coke, but, fully knowing it could be like a rail or something else that's Jack and Coke. It's kind of like, living in the South and someone says, oh, I got Cokes in the fridge. And it's like a fridge full of like, Fantas and Sprites, so I think it's just so synonymous of whiskey is Jack Daniel's. So, we've done a product with them before, the single barrel proof. I loved it. I know I've kind of given some heat towards Old Number 7, but again, I think we owe it, to the series and actually doing it. We'll close this out, bringing it back to Old Number 7. So, we'll talk about the mash bill. So it's a 80% corn, 12% rye, 8% malted barley, high corn. Coined the Lincoln County process. I've talked about that, and to some great extent. It's the qualifier for it to be a true Tennessee whiskey, which this is. Jack Daniel's is legit Tennessee whiskey here in Lynchburg, Tennessee. I think this will be interesting, and I can't wait to pour it. We'll talk about it. We'll give it the grade, and we'll really see how much I truly like Jack Daniel's. And my judgment's been skewed based on how I've consumed Jack, and it's always been with like a mixer, or it can confirm like, hey, I still think JD sucks and don't want to drink anymore. So enough about that. It's another 80 proof. Yeah, cap. Got it. Cool. Low proof. And it's coming it's wafting right out the barrel, that very distinct Jack Daniel's smell. Not terrible, but it's very distinct. A Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 must that comes with it. I get toasted nut on there, very sweet on the nose. It's low proof, so it's not really busy on the nose. Like that high proof, that 131 of the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. It's really robust in flavor, a lot going on. Just add the Glencairn. This, not so much. I do get some very, Tennessee whiskey, caramel, sweet, get that kind of corn smell. I do get that toasted nut. It's like a toasted brittle. That's just screaming out of here. It's kind of like a banana bread almost. Okay, not bad. This is really palatable. Very, very drinkable. 80 proof, you can drink a lot of it. Not much of a finish, real thin tasting. It's sweet. I get like kind of a banana bread taste on it, caramel, very palatable. I think where people go wrong is they fuck it up and they just pour it with like a Coke or ginger ale. I think we need to start lobbying of Jack neat or Jack just on the rocks, because I think that just ruins Jack Daniels. You start just mixing 10 tons of bullshit in there. I think this is very good on its own for really for what it is. So I owe Jack Daniels an apology. Jack Daniels, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Old Number 7 is pretty palatable for a mid-market, low-budget whiskey. So taste, we'll actually price point. This is a $22 bottle. This is a fifth. You don't get much better than that, so I would say this is a 9. Taste, let's be fair. This is a 6.5. I would say overall. This is a 7. So.